Hi, welcome to the You Do You Babe podcast. I'm so excited you stopped by. My name is Cathy Michaels and I'll be hosting the show. I was wondering, have you ever had something happen in your life that left you thinking, now what am I going to do? Well, I did. And not only was I thinking, what am I going to do? It went deeper and had me thinking, who am I really? That's when I decided to start this self-love adventure. I turned inward, working to become a better, healthier, and more confident version of myself, and I've never felt better. I guess the saying's true, everything happens for a reason. So I would love for you to join me as I continue my journey where I'll discuss the things I've learned, experiences I've had, mistakes I've made, and there were quite a few, but more importantly, the breakthroughs I've discovered. We are what we experience, and everyone's experience and perception is different. So please share what's going on in your life too, because after all, we need each other, and together we're better. All right, babes, enjoy the next episode, and we'll talk soon. Welcome back to another episode of You Do You Babe podcast. I'm here in my new podcast room. I don't know if you're watching on YouTube, but as you can see, I have my new neon sign up. I love it so much. I just love it in here. It's so cozy. So what have we spoken about already? I spoke about why I'm doing this. I spoke about how I got started. And I spoke about my special experiences each month. So now I want to just tell you what I do for my self-love, self-care, self-discovery routine and how I'm feeling, okay? So basically, this adventure consists of a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of therapy, and just other little activities that come along the way, okay? So basically, I decided I'm the type of person that when I don't dive into the deep end, right? When I go into the pool, I like to go through the steps and I like to, get acclimated at each step. And when I get to the shallow end, I'm on my tippy toes. I'm one of those people. And then eventually, I dip my shoulders under the water. I don't just dive right in. So that's pretty much the approach I'm taking with this as well. I've been doing a lot of reading. I start off with a book that's light, that gets me gets me going. And then I go to a heavier book that, is more serious. And then I go to a lighter book and then a heavier book and a lighter book. And you get the picture, right? So I have to say, though, when I was researching and everybody would say, you got to do the work, you got to do the work, you got to do the work. And I never really understood what they meant by when they said, you have to do the work. And it was very frustrating to me. Well, I want to say thank you to those same people because had I known what this entailed, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have gone on this adventure. No, I would have. I would have because I love to learn and I love to figure things out. But it's exhausting. This journey is tiring. Okay, my brain just doesn't shut off. I'm always thinking and it's tiring. And I know most of you are probably like, Cathy, you said you wake up at 5:30 in the morning, your feet hit the ground and you start running. Of course you're going to be exhausted. But it's just a different kind of exhaustion. And it's not that it's an exhaustion where I'm like, screw this, I don't want to do it. It's just, it's very thought provoking. It's emotional. It's happy. It's like you're up and you're down. Sometimes I feel very out of balance. But I know in the end that it's so worth it. All of this work is worth it. I'm worth it. And, what's wrong with, investing in yourself and, becoming a little bit better than you were before? There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm excited to be on this journey, but I am tired. So if you see me out and about and I'm not so, happy-go-lucky, just know that I'm exhausted. Just know that I'm on this self-care, self-love journey and I'm just exhausted. No, I'm just teasing. But doing this, it's a lot of reading, a lot of therapy. And then on top of that, I have to work. I have my regular job and then I have my kids and then I have the house and the animals and, just shit to take care of. So it's regular life is just as exhausting. Now, I have to say, I'm pretty lucky because my kids are older and they're self-sufficient and don't really need me. So luckily, I have that going for me. But still, all in all, it's exhausting. I mean, sometimes Sophia would come home from school and I'd be in bed napping and she's like, Mom, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just needed to put my head on the pillow for a little while. And I am sleeping at night. I mean, I do wake up. I probably wake up for an hour each night. Um, I just wake up. I don't know. I don't know if there's something I'm thinking about. I do know lately, my stress is kind of gone away. So I do have lots of dreams now and I enjoy, I sometimes I'm waking up from them and then I go write them down right away because I never used to remember my dreams and now I must be getting lighter, and not so stressed and anxious that I'm remembering them now. So that's kind of fun. Um, but anyway, so I wanted to say, although this journey is so worth it, it's just tiring, right? But it won't last. It won't last, the tiredness. So anyway, let me tell you how I got started. I'm going to go really quick through the books that I'm doing. I started with this book, Buy Yourself the Fucking Lilies by Tara Schuster. Tara, if you are listening, great book. Thank you so much for writing this, and Other Rituals to Fix Your Life. This was an easy read, great start to my journey. I did have some exercises in here that I did, that made this process easy to start. Is fun. It was very fun. So she talks about journaling, which journaling is something that I just started. She talks about like that crutch that we all have, that little destructive thing that we do. She talks about the morning routine. She talks about liking yourself, which is buying yourself the flowers or, using a special pen or taking a bath or going on a day trip or doing Pilates, just anything that makes you feel good. All right. She talks about that. She talks about meditation. She talks about one of my favorite chapters is she talks about paranoia. Do you know what paranoia is? It's the belief that people are secretly plotting for your well being. It's a state of mind that's the opposite of paranoia. Paranoia has been an incredible tool for creating a more joyful life. It works. I truly believe this. So, before I started this podcast, I was nervous. I was like, who the hell wants to hear what I have to say? Why do what, I don't know, but I just decided to do this podcast anyway. More for me. It's very therapeutic talking this out. And like I said in the beginning, I was a little frustrated that I couldn't find the help that, like when I was researching what I needed. And I said, if I'm looking, there's got to be other women looking. And I've gotten lots of positive feedback. By the way, thank you, everybody. So now I go in thinking, of course, everybody wants to hear what I have to say. They love me. So yes, I have a good case of pronoia. But she talks about dating and relationships and stop taking things so personally. One other activity, my very first activity that I did was when she went through her self-esteem, what drives her self-esteem, her self-values. She went through statements that she wants to be remembered by or true about her. And then she did all her affirmations. So I decided to do the same activity. I wrote down what drives my self-esteem. I wrote down my core values, and it was fun to do this exercise. And I wrote down statements that I want to be remembered by or true about me. And every day I look at these statements, I say them out loud, and I remember. And then, of course, there's the affirmation side. I think I have enough affirmations that I could probably wallpaper a room. I could go on and on for days with affirmations. I mean, really, I could probably, if I was able to do that, I would probably wake up at 5:30 and finish my morning routine by noon just because I have so many affirmations. It's funny. Um, it just doesn't stop, the affirmations. But anyway, that was a fun activity. Another activity I did from her was I wrote a letter to the friend of me within. We all have that little negative Nancy in our ear, chirping negative thoughts, self-doubt, fear. And I wrote this letter probably a month ago, but I recently had a situation where I let that self doubt, that little fear monger, talk me out of doing something. So I was driving home with my daughter and her friend. We were in New Jersey, and we happened to stop at Starbucks, and I saw somebody I knew. And I didn't know for sure if it definitely was this person, but my daughter's like, so cool. And if it's them, tell them to stop. And for some reason, I just let fear and self-doubt set in and I didn't call the person. And of course, after the opportunity passed, I kicked myself. I was so mad at myself. I'm like, why didn't I just call? Because I texted after the moment passed and there was no opportunity to stop and meet. Um, of course, they wrote back, why didn't you call me? I'm like, I don't know. And so I thought about it the whole way home. I'm like, why didn't I call? And I have to say, um, it was a lesson. And I realized that with getting a divorce and either spouse leaving, I'm sure the other spouse, I happen to be the spouse that got left. So, I take it as like a personal rejection, right? When your marriage ends and that your spouse decides to leave. So what I figured out was I was afraid to be rejected. And I don't know why I'm so attached to the outcome, whatever it may be. And because there's no reason to be. It's either yes or it's no. It's not malicious. It's not harmful. It's yes or no. Like, yes, I'd love to stop and see you. Or no, I'm on my way. I'm in a rush next time. Oh, darn. It's so sad I can't see you. Like, I don't know why I'm so afraid of rejection. But that was the lesson in this. Like, I need to get over, I needed to figure out why I had that fear and that self-doubt. And then once I figured it out, a few days later, I did message this person and we had a conversation about it. And of course, the conversation was nice. It was pleasant. And, I realized, I shouldn't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Don't take it personally, all these things. So see, I'm learning. And it was a situation that I didn't even think it was something I needed to learn, but it was something I learned about myself. And now I'm going to work on not worrying and not being attached to an outcome. So that's pretty exciting. So those things like that happen along this journey are exciting because you're opening up yourself and you're really listening and trying to figure out what's going on. Why did you do that? Why didn't you do that? You're figuring out what makes you tick, who you are as a person, what you like. Kind of reminds me, oh, never mind. I'm not going to go there. But anyway, so I read this book. I love this book. I give this book out as gifts. I just absolutely love it. I don't care what you're doing in your life. You can always get something out of this book, right? All right. The next book that I'm working on, and this is the heavier version now. This is, and here's that phrase, how to do the work, recognizing your patterns, healing from your past, and creating yourself. Okay, so I'm currently in the middle of this book, and there's a lot of thought-provoking questions in here and activities to do. And then once I'm done with this book, I'm going to go to a lighter book that I found on Instagram. It's very light content. It's a book called Heal, Grow, Love, Words to Help You Become. And I love all the posts on Instagram. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this book. And just, when I have the lighter books in between the heavier self-help books, it just resets my mind. It gives me, like I'm able to reset, reboot, and start on the next thing, reflect on what I've already done, and then go ahead and let's go to the next healing thing. So this book, though, I'll read you some excerpts from it. The journey of healing is choosing to play the hands you've been dealt while changing which table it is played on. Circumstances. Another one is there's so much clarity that comes from living your truth. Let your truth live. So true. So true. And then another one, we'll do one. I did one from each. So now I'm going to do love. Let's see. Let me find like a short one. The day is coming when you will smell like fresh love, genuine love, graceful love, self-love, true love. Just all little sweet little, sentences. Every missed opportunity to love is punishing the heart without cause. So I'm excited to read this book. It says here, dedicated to those running after healing, those who are learning to find the beauty in growing, those who understand that love can only be seen when both healing and growth show up. So that's exciting. Then I'm going to go to the next self-help workbook, which is The Mountain is You. Okay? I found this book on TikTok, believe it or not. I love TikTok. It really cracks me up. But I did find this book. It's Transforming Self Sabotage into Self Mastery, the Ultimate Seeker's Guide for Those Brave Enough to Face Their True North and Take Their Power Back. This also has a workbook. So I can't wait to do that. Then after that, I found a book by Rachel Hollis. She's the author of Girl Wash Your Face. I read that book and I enjoyed the way she writes. So I got the book, Didn't See That Coming. It's putting life back together when your world falls apart. So since I like the way she writes, I feel like this can be an easy read and I could probably relate to some of the things she says in here. So I'm looking forward to that one. Then the next book after that is A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. This book came highly, highly recommended by tons of people. I can't wait to read it. So we'll see how that goes. And then I got another book that was recommended by someone. I'm not really sure about this one. It's called Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life, a Chump Lady's a Survival Guide. It looks funny. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I like it or not, but I'll give it a chance. And then in between all this, I have a book called The ABCs of Self Love. And it's a simple guide to loving yourself, reclaiming your worth, and changing your life. And in here, it just gives you the alphabet and self love words with each letter of the alphabet. And then, we put it into action. So one of them is H, happy thoughts. And she says to make a happy thoughts playlist. Okay. Like Treat Myself by Megan Trainor, Love on Top by Beyonce. And then she wants you to write about how your perspective shifted after listening to your happy thoughts playlist. So I have to say, music is such an integral part of my journey. I absolutely love music for so many reasons. First, when I need happy thoughts, um, or when I'm already happy and just want to be happier. I love dancing around. I love, just being silly and dancing with the kids or by myself with the dogs, whoever. I love, love, love music. Sometimes I'm sad and I'm having like an emotional block. And does this ever happen to you where you want to cry but you can't cry? So then you just put on sad music and then the floodgates open. Yeah. So sometimes I feel that way and I just need to cry. Maybe it's been a rough week and I just need to let it out. So yeah, I fall asleep to music now. I just love music. I love all sorts of music. Um, I have such a wide variety. I listen through Spotify, so I have such a wide variety on Spotify. I absolutely love music. Another exercise I did, which I thought was fun, was I had to figure out a person who I admire. And it wasn't that easy, but I ultimately picked Grace Kelly. I feel that she is just, I mean, she went from being a movie star to marrying a prince. I mean, every girl's dream, right? Every girl's dream. But she is just, to me, she's the epitome of elegance and strength. And I just love her. I mean, here's a picture of her on the beach in her bathing suit. She's just gorgeous. She's just beauty. She's just everything to me. Everything wrapped in one. And I look at her picture every day and I'm like, okay, I want to be like her. Along with that, along with everything else I look at in pictures of her, I also have my vision board that I made with my daughter and her friends at the beginning of the new year. Funny, because a lot of them didn't know what the hell a vision board was, but I explained to them what it was. We each made one, and I look at mine every day. I absolutely love it. But here's another picture of Grace Kelly in a beautiful gown. She's just gorgeous. I just love her. So anyway, so with all this reading, then what I do is I have therapy. Okay. Now I have three different therapists right now that I see. I have my one main therapist on a weekly basis that I talk about everything with. Although I'm very open with all of my therapists. I mean, I don't understand why anybody wouldn't say everything. I mean, how are you going to help yourself if you're keeping stuff guarded? So I do have my weekly therapist who I tell everything to. Um, she's a third party and she gives me her perspective on things when maybe mine are a little crazy. But I do love my meetings with her every week. And then I have a life coach, and him I see every so often. I am able to record his sessions. He's basically rerouting the way I think about things and how I speak things in out. Like, I thought I was a very positive person, and it's not that I'm negative. I'm just like positive in the future, or I can say like a positive negative statement all in one. Kind of like, well, I'll prepare for the worst, but I'll hope for the best. He's like, why would you do that? Why would you even worry about the worst? Just prepare for the best, hope for the best, and expect the best. I'm like, gee, I don't know why I do that. So he has me rethinking things, and I do enjoy my talks with him. What I love about my talks with him are at the end of every conversation, it's okay, so where do you see yourself in a month? How do you feel? How does that make you feel? And then where do you see yourself in a year, and how does that make you feel? And it's exciting because I feel like, well, I set goals, and I feel like it's definitely attainable. My goals are like, I could feel them, I could taste them, I could see them. Like, I just, it's amazing how I can envision my goals. Okay. Um, One goal that I did come out with this whole thing is, that's very, very important to me, is forgiveness. Okay. I want to be at the place where I forgive myself for all the things that I allowed to happen to myself, that I didn't, set boundaries for, or that just whatever it was, I need to forgive myself. Okay? I didn't know if I knew, I thought I was doing it because it was for the best interest of the family or myself, and I just need to let that go. I don't want to live with any ill feelings inside me. I have a whole year until I have to leave this house, and I just feel that when I leave, I want to leave knowing that I did everything I could, and knowing that I forgive myself, and I'm in a good place, and my kids are in a good place, and everybody's good. I also want to be able to forgive the situation, okay? I don't necessarily want to go and tell the people that hurt me that, hey, I forgive you. No, I mean, it's still something for me, but, and I certainly don't ever want to sit with them at my table or break bread with them, but I do need to forgive this whole thing. I just don't feel that if I can't forgive this whole thing, then I'm always going to have some sort of resentment, and then eventually it's like a cancer. It just creeps in. I don't want to. I don't want to be there. I don't want to go there. I want to let it go. I want to remain soft. I don't want to have walls around my heart. I just want to be open and happy and kind and loving. And I feel I could fully be like that as long as I forgive everything that's happened that maybe shouldn't have happened. Okay. But I do also feel that everything is happening for me. As I'm doing this process, I'm like, oh, I see why this is happening, or, oh, this is really a good thing. So I do believe that. I do believe that whatever's meant for me won't pass me by. Everything's happening for me, and everything's happening for a reason. But I still have some bad taste in my mouth about how things went down, and I just need to forgive that. I also need to go and ask for forgiveness because during this part of my life, I've been a little crazy, and I need to approach people who I need to approach, and I need to apologize, and I need to ask for forgiveness. Now, if they're open to receiving that, yay, thank God. That's great for me. If they're not, that's okay too. But I know that I asked for forgiveness and I apologize. So that's coming. This is kind of like AA, I think. All of this, it's all a whole process and steps. But I'll get through it, and I'm looking forward to all of that. So yeah, so this is exhausting. There's a lot. I have a lot of things I write down, a lot of lists, a lot of things that I want to talk about, a lot of activities that I want to work on. And, that's a whole nother reason why I do these special experiences for myself each month, because this it can't all be work. Otherwise, I'm going to really, not want to do this. So I got to reward myself for all the little steps and all the little progress that I'm making. And, it's exciting, I do see the end result, and not that this ever ends, but you know what I do want to meet somebody who has gone through this, who's ahead in this process, and tell me how their process went and how they're feeling now. And I mean, I see all the advantages of this, but I just want to speak to that person and see what they did and how they like it. So if you're out there listening, send me a message, and we'll have that conversation, because I'm so curious as to, you know, what this journey was like for you, or is like for you. If you're not on this journey and want to join and do it, I suggest you do it. It's a great adventure. It really is. So it's exhausting though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired. I am tired. So that's it, guys. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to speak to you next week. And you keep doing you. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye.